CP3.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network. Thank you, gentlemen.
Crank it up, Pedro.
Heineke looking for it all. McLaurin in the end zone. He's got it. It's a touchdown.
I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and give up this match. She all in the feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on the move, that's a digital dash. Ain't been just losing, I'm living these facts. Never go broke up like that be a stat. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and give up this match. She all in the feelings, she giving me sex.
Taylor Heineke got himself into a nice little groove. I love what Scott Turner's done for him. Getting him on the move.
And here's DeAndre Carter. Speaking of going on the move, Carter on the move. All the way for his first NFL touchdown. 101 yards for DeAndre Carter. Takes it to the house, and Washington takes the lead.
Watch out how you really walk up to me, that's a man down.
101
All these niggas got
yards.
these drums with them like a band now. I've been doing
Ethan
what I want,
Sims,
that's
the
what you
last
can't doubt.
Washington
I
football
be just
player.
feeling myself.
Third down
Do I
and
just really need help? I got my weight up. I be just telling
a
myself.
field
I got
goal
love for all my
try for
dogs.
Dustin
I take a pay
Hopkins,
cut,
who's
niggas
missed
gon' really
two
gon' ride. Some niggas gon' really gon' slide. So
Second
go say
and
a prayer.
16
We
at
ain't
the
never got
49.
top five. Nigga just pay your
Heineke
tax. Call me the man.
backpedaling over the middle. There's McLaurin popping free for the first down.
I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on the move, that's a digital dash. Ain't been just losing, I'm
Heineke
living
on
these
play
facts.
action. There's
Never go
Fowler
broke
in the
like that be a
backfield.
stat. I
Heineke
could
gets
never
away,
live in the
lobs it in
past.
the end zone, and it's caught. It's a touchdown. McLaurin back on the field, and out of the scramble situation, he ends up with 6. Pressure coming, backpedaling, throwing over the middle, open and caught DeAndre Carter, and a first down to the 48-yard line, his first catch of the year.
But no struggling for extra yards. No putting the ball in harm's way. We got to be very sharp.
3rd and 7. Heineke all day to throw. Nobody open. Now McKissick pops free, and he found him. McKissick runs through the tackle, down the sideline. McKissick going airborne. J.D. McKissick soaring to the goal line, and he's out of bounds inside the 1. No, it's a touchdown.
Wow.
The officials confer, and it is 6 for Washington, and they take the lead.
Trying to converge all down on this right-hand side. Give Matt Ryan an opportunity.
Here we go. Matt Ryan will step up, floating it for the end zone. Ball in the air, deflected away. Kendall Fuller got a hand on it to swat it clear. And Washington comes from behind to get a 34-30.
Never go broke like got me a stab. I could never ever live in the past. But I dish it like I give it and go. Counting money while I chill at the stove. How I deliver, I've been at the dough. It's up to you how business will go. That 36 I get for the low. Count it up, no feelings will show. Spend so much, gotta get it some more. When they hands out, I just give them a no. How they always talking.
That's right. Monday night, Sports on the Hill podcast, True Radio Network, CP3 coming to you live from the lab. You see, we got DujunneaB from the breakdown already on the scene. You peeped out the highlights from the crazy, dramatic, and up and down game yesterday, 34-30. The team is 2-2. You know, it's Victory Monday. We feeling good, but just got the injury report, so that's a little disheartening. And we still have some things to shore up on the defense and the offensive end. But it was a victory. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, you got to enjoy the win. A win on a Sunday in the NFL is always a good thing. As I said yesterday, I had them 3-1 through the first 4, 2-2. Can't be mad. 500 could be worse. DujunneaB, how are you feeling today, man? Are you still a little heart still fluttering a little bit from that game yesterday?
It was quite the interesting one. I didn't really expect them to. I didn't expect them to fight nearly as hard when things got a little rough. Kicking issues, whatever. But it was a hard fought game, and Taylor is Taylor doing his thing. Really keeping them in the game, making plays. I know sometimes it's a risk, but that's just who he is. So gotta take the good with the bad, and it was enough for them to get a W. So definitely good for Washington fans on Monday.
Yeah, it was a up and down, back and forth game. Once again, they got off to a slow start. They had to get down 10 points before they got the offense going in the second quarter. Heineke coming home, some jitters after we saw the performance we saw last week. This was a great bounce back game for him. No turnovers, made solid decisions. There was a couple of questionable decisions, but it didn't come back to bite him. Great quarterback rating, 127.1. 23 for 33, 290 yards. So, he played a pretty good game. He buys time with his feet. He's been more aware in the pocket. And when he has ran and broke the pocket, he's made sure he's protected himself. He took one, solid hit yesterday, but for the most part, he protected himself. And he commanded their team when it needed to get the points when they needed to score. So, I've said it before, I like the kid. I think if he can, stay pacing himself and not trying to do too much and moving too fast. I think that he can be a quarterback for this team that can, they don't have to necessarily go get a franchise quarterback right now. I think that he can be a quarterback that can, get them to the next level. And then when they're ready to draft a franchise quarterback, they can sit behind him for a couple of years. When they're ready, boom. Never know where he might take us. But, not trying to get ahead of myself. But he definitely had a great bounce back game. And I know being at home definitely made it feel better, getting that victory on the road, first road victory. Offense, DujunneaB. Let's break it down a little bit. Like I said, Heineke, I feel did a good job. They still don't run the ball enough for me. They've been giving McCliskey the ball up the middle to try to throw off the defense because they most times know when he comes in it's going to be a passing play, so they're trying to mix it in, which I give Turner some kudos on. But you should still get Gibson the ball. This kid is hungry, man. This kid wants to get the ball. He wants to improve, and he wants to get that 1,000-yard. He talked about his goals at the beginning of the season, but for some reason, Turner just does not want to feed him the ball. After that first week, when he gave him 20 and he had that fumble in the fourth quarter, he's been in the teens each game after that. And 37 touches in 3 games, I just don't understand.
Not enough.
So what about you, DujunneaB? What did you take away from the offense as a whole? Like I said, they got started a little slow, but for the most part, they were moving the ball. Decent numbers on third down conversions. They were 4 for 9, and they had a whole drive where they didn't have any third downs at all because they were getting first downs and chunk yardage. So what was your assessment of this offense, even with some of the injuries with Brandon Sheriff, who we'll talk about a little bit later?
Yeah, they did what they had to do. I think, again, another week and Heineke's showing what he showed, last season, in the last season. He likes to use his legs, and he makes smart decisions by doing that. Allows him to come in and be able to make plays and, get first downs. He got first downs with his leg when the play wasn't there. Made smart decisions with the football, not trying to force too many throws. And like I said, that's just who he is. He's going to sling it. He's going to try to make a play. But as you saw this week, it was more, if it wasn't there and the play wasn't there to be made with his arm, he chose to use his legs. Offensive line is what it is. I'm with you. I'd like to see them run the ball a lot more. I think you saw when they ran the ball more, the offense seemed to work a lot better. And I think it's a good thing for their offensive line to be running the football. And maybe it seems as if they pass protect better after having a series where you're focusing on the run. I do believe Gibson deserves more carries. I felt like it was situational this week. I still feel like they could have given him more carries, but the way JD was running the football, they needed kind of that strong arm, I guess. He's kind of a bulldozer a little bit. It came in handy several times during the game. Um, Finally, a couple other guys making some plays out there wide out. It was nice to see Samuel out there. I think he's going to be a huge help to Terry, but Terry is just being Terry, man, just balling. You know, I mean, what can you say? I mean, you give him bracket coverage. You try to cover him with a zone over under whatever. He's gonna get out there. He's gonna make plays. He's gonna find a way to get open. Um, I'm really impressed actually, given the circumstances. This was over the last couple of weeks, outside of maybe I say 1 week. I mean, the offense has tried to put up points. Despite the circumstances. I guess that's one thing that Washington football team fans can be happy about. They are putting up points. Now, if the other side of the ball can come along, you'll have a little bit more of a chance in these games. I thought they faced some pretty decent defenses. Atlanta's not great, but they're not terrible either. I mean, I think they proved that a couple times, throughout the game. But I love what the offense did to be able to win that ball game, and really just go out there and really just take the ball game. They had to go out there and win it, and they did that. So I think fans should be excited about that. That's something that hasn't been done a lot, over the last couple of years. So it's pretty nice to see.
Yeah, we definitely got to talk about Terry. Last week, had 11 catches. This week, 6 catches, $123 and 2 touchdowns. And I said on the postgame show yesterday, I was watching the pregame for NBC Sports Washington, and B. Mitch basically said that Terry McLaurin was going to have 6 catches, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he was off by a yard, but he pretty much predicted that Terry was going to have a big game. J.D. McClissick, another week in a row, he's come in 2 weeks in a row. He's come in and made huge contributions in the pass game and the run game. Gibson, he just needs to get the ball more. Samuel, you look at his stat line, he had 4 catches for like 30-something yards, but all 4 of those catches were for first downs. So you're already seeing, he was on basically a pitch count yesterday because he's not in football shape, being that he's been out since preseason and hasn't had a chance to get on the field and get his wind up. So he was on a pitch count yesterday, but when he got in, he made an impact. It might not have been a huge, touchdown or whatever, but it helped move the change and kept the offense moving. And I think that's going to definitely help this team, especially now that I guess we'll get into some of the injuries because that's going to affect the offense with Logan Thomas. Have him listed with a hamstring. He's week to week. Brandon Sheriff has a knee. They're talking about 2 to 3 weeks for him. Coach said that Sammy Reyes will be active this game, will be dressed. Also, they said DujunneaB Brown, he was out sometime of the game with a knee injury. It doesn't say anything if he's, day-to-day, week-to-week, just mentioning during the game. Cam Sims also had a hamstring that they took him out that he wasn't. That's why he didn't really get much action in the game yesterday also. So, like you said, even with those pieces missing, they were still able to get those points at the end of the game to, earn the victory. So you can see the offense progressing more and more week by week, which is what you want to see. Now, flip it to the other side of the ball with the defense where we're seeing progress, but we're seeing it in small increments and not consistent enough. Yesterday, the offense performed consistently. Defense can't say that as much. 10 for 16 on third down conversion for Atlanta. That says a lot right there. But before I get into the defense, I see Big Hurt is ready to come on in. So we're going to invite Big Hurt into this conversation. We just talked about the offense and Heineke, Gibson, with Samuel out there, getting crucial first down catches. What was your take of this offense of with the Heineke show and overall the game yesterday. Big hurt.
Hey, you Kirk Cousins guys got to shut the fuck up forever right now. Like they got to shut up, man. Well, I can't even enjoy. First of all, I just want to say that this was the most slept on victory in the history of Washington. I'll tell you why. They didn't talk about it on Sports Center. They didn't talk about it on Good Morning Football. They didn't talk about it on NFL Live. They didn't talk about it on Colin Cowherd. They didn't talk about it in all these places that picked the land to win. Nobody talked about this game. And it wasn't like some old 7-10 game. It wasn't that. It was, my God, like, this was a comeback victory. This dude, for the second time this year, brought us back with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. Except this time, instead of scoring one touchdown, he got us two. So when I think about the offense, I hate that Scott. You can always tell what drive he's taking offense off. It's like we're in a rhythm. We're rolling. Heineke's moving the ball down the field. And then we come back in the fourth quarter and we start playing like we got the lead. And we're going to run the ball on first and second down, and we're going to do an out pass on third down. What? It's it's just a couple of drives. It's like a waste of a drive. You got a guy who can throw down the field. You got a guy who can attack the defense. Why not use it? Why take any drive off? But he took too many drives off. When I say he, I mean Scott Turner took too many drives off. Now, when we had to have a play, it was there. That McKissick play that everyone's acting like was a busted play was not a busted play. That was definitely a design sneak out. It definitely cleared all the receivers, cleared all their defenders to the left side. And it was McKissick one-on-one with the linebacker. He won that battle, thus the war, and the game. That was a design play. And on one side, I'm like, where the hell has that been all season? On the other side, I'm like, yo, I'm glad you saved it till we absolutely needed it. So, yeah, I'm feeling the offense right now. Especially Taylor Heineke. So I asked this question in a bunch of groups, and I got a bunch of non-answers. When was the last time we had a quarterback where when he got the ball in his hands with 5 minutes to go in the game and you need a touchdown, where you said to yourself, I'm confident he can get us there?
2012 RG3. That's it.
Look, I didn't feel that way until the Minnesota game. I'll be honest with you. And I remember that for two reasons. One, it won me all of my fantasy leagues. That was like a 13-point play. It won me all of my fantasy leagues. I had RG3 in all of them. I was losing in all of them, and that won me all four. That's number one. Number two, I remember the moment it happened. I remember Kirk Cousins on the sideline upset. You see the meme going around Twitter that says sometimes you got to wait your turn? I made that. Somebody else took it and put their logo over my logo, but I made that meme. I created it because I remember the way he was standing there looking. I remember calling I called Tom Lavero. I was like, yo, we're so happy to see everybody happy except Kirk Cousins. I said it to him that day. But as much as I love RG3, I felt like he gave us a chance, but the feeling with Taylor Heineke is different. It's like I almost expect it from him now. That's not fair. But it's like I expect you to go down and score, not because it's garbage time and you want to pad your stat and get another 100 yards to make it look like it's your team and not you, Kirk. I expect you to go down because you've already shown us you can do it, and I don't want to see you go backwards. So I have no confidence. I'm on the phone with my bros, and they're like, yo, my God, what's he doing? That pass to McLaurin. He's gonna get McLaurin hurt. I'm like, yo, chill. He got this. My words, he got this. He got this. 20 seconds later, like, what are we doing? And in the Redskins groups, there's still conversation about the quarterback. I figured all of the conversation this week would be the kicker. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. When you start missing extra points, you need to change the scenery. Fire him and bring him back in 2 weeks if you want. But he's got to go. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would cut him and then tell him, hey, you can come to camp tomorrow and fight for your spot back. But I would absolutely cut him.
Coach has confidence in him. He said during the press conference today, they asked about him. He said he's our kicker and pretty much nothing else to say.
Man, yeah, he's our kicker until he's not. I promise with everything, man. I cut him twice.
I mean,
I cut him again.
I just
How you gonna come out and have confidence in a guy? How you gonna come out and say you got confidence in a guy when you virtually had to go 2-point conversion for the rest of the game because you couldn't trust that dude? Huh?
You know, and here's the thing. The first kick, I still believe the first extra point was good.
I thought so too. I thought I was the only one.
It looked good. The first one
It
looked
did.
good. I'm like, yo, what do you mean no good? Show me a replay. He didn't show a replay. I'm like, yo, you need to show me that that's no good, especially as iffy as the calls were. There was a lot of iffy calls that game. Like that Chase Young sack that got taken away and turned into a 50-yard penalty. Get out of here with that nonsense. But they with the kicker. I thought the kick was good. I'm like, yo, I need to see that again. But then when he missed another one, I'm like, ooh, that now makes the first one. Now it's like, yo, you missed two. Like, no one cares how close the first one was when you clearly missed this one. Like, dude, if we can't count on 1 point from you, like, you literally have 3 jobs. Kick the field goal, kick the extra point, kick the ball out of the end zone, the kickoff. There's 3 things you do. That's it.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
I'm still not there yet, man. Because like I said, the Giants, Graham Gano, we drafted this dude. This dude has been all over the league, 16 years now, with the most accurate kickers, but we let him go because his inconsistencies when he was young. That's why I say I'm tired of seeing our kickers go elsewhere, become Pro Bowlers and get Super Bowl rings. And we still looking for a kicker.
those things can't happen here. You know what I'm saying? Like, Graham Gano didn't carry anybody to a Super Bowl. I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but you know that can't happen here. They need to change the scenery, which is why I say fire again.
Sean Sweezel? Is that who you talking about? Sean Sweezel?
No, I'm talking David Akers also. He was
Akers was
Akers. He got a Super Bowl ring and lasted almost 20 years and was one of the most accurate kickers in the league, but we let him go.
Yeah.
So those are the ones I remember. But I feel what you're saying. You got 3 jobs, and yeah, like the week before when he missed the 48-yarder before the penalty, I was
This goes back to last season.
Yeah, I think Ron said he has faith in him because when he got hot at the end of the season where he hit 14 out of 16 on that run to the playoffs. So I guess that's why he has that confidence that he can get things right, and when it's needed, he'll be there. So, I mean, I don't know. That's
they need to win.
Yeah. But like you say,
I don't know about that though, man. Like, look, well, all I can say is I'm a patient guy. I'm talking about giving Taylor the year, maybe 2. I'm talking about, like, if you could sign him to a moderate 3-year extension right now, I would do it. That's where I'm at. That's where I am with my patience. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it build. What's his name? Not Parsons is what I'm calling him. I forgot his name. Come on, help me out.
Which guy? I'm trying to think who you're talking about.
Our linebacker that we drafted.
Jamin Davis.
Jamin Davis. Okay. Like, he had a pretty bad game. I'm not worried about him. Like, he's a rookie. Let him develop a little bit. The defense, I feel like they'll get there with some better scheme behind them, some blitzes, like we started to at the beginning of the game, and then inexplicably stopped.
We saw
and then started doing it again when we needed to, like whatever.
Yeah, we did.
I'm all about patience, but I'm patient, dude. You missed an extra point. Look, I think I think I can make 2 extra points.
They 32 yards. They 32 yards now. They 32 yards.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. They moved it back.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. Take it back. Look, I used to punt. I was the punter. I was the punter in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's a difference between punting and the field goal kicking. Big difference.
Yeah, I could do neither.
As Young Ho Cool showed you.
Oh yeah, that first one was like 25 yard putt.
Dude, it's like you got a leg for those field goals. Those punts is different, and vice versa.
Oh yeah, DujunneaB.
Like one's a front kick, one's a side kick, like a side shuffle kick. It's different. But what's not different, what's also different is Taylor Heineke. He's a different animal. He's cool under pressure. He can make all these. Every week he shows a different throw. And I just go, man, I don't remember the last time anyone on this team made that throw. Like, I hate to say this. I really hate to say this, but man, Jay Gruden would have loved to have him throwing the fade. You know, Jay Gruden loved that fade. Kirk Cousins couldn't throw the save his mama.
He still can't do it.
The fade. And I wasn't mad at Kirk for not being able to throw a fade. I'm mad at Jay Gruden because he kept fucking calling the fade. Well, you know you don't have a quarterback who can throw the fade.
He called that shit
have
in
a
his sleep.
receiver to catch a fade.
Yeah, he called that in his sleep for some reason. He wake up just calling fade.
Dude, it's like you know where it's going every time. You know, every single time we get to the end zone, the ball is sailing 10 yards over Pierre Garçon's head. Every single time, because Cousins can't throw that fucking pass.
Oh, I don't want to bring up those days again.
Yeah, get those days. Let's focus on what we have.
Yeah,
Heineke can throw the fade, and the slant, and the out, and the go, and the post, and the curl.
How about that pass that he threw it up. But how about that pass he threw to trust? I even give McLaurin a lot of credit for fighting through that, not getting pushed out of bounds, coming under, because I'm like, this is clearly going to get intercepted. There's at least the defender sees this clearly. I mean, you got your eyes on it. You see it. Nope. He comes around, and I guess that the defender didn't think that he was going to make that catch and was right there. I mean, that was just, I don't think we've ever seen a play like that made in quite some time, especially for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think that goes to Terry because if you go back to the game against the Chargers when he made that phenomenal catch that nobody think he was going to make, he was like, I didn't even see the defender. I was so focused on the ball. And I think that's definitely benefiting, especially on that play that he suited what he – I'm making up words now. He saw the way that the ball was coming out, and the defenders was keyed on him, so he saw the ball. So he was able to make that play, and I think that's what it comes down to, that he's more focused on the ball than not what the defender is doing, because he just snatches the ball out of the air. You see the defender there, you know, the small window, but he finds a way to make sure he gets that ball. And if he doesn't get
I like how Heineke gave him an opportunity to make that play too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was a tough throw, but I just knew it was going to be intercepted. But
I didn't like the throw. That's one of the throws I didn't like. I thought it was reckless.
You're going to get that from him, though. You're going to get that from him, Hurt. He going to throw something. That's just him.
No.
And
his haters are hanging on to that pass. Like that should have been intercepted. I'm like, dog, but it wasn't. But in my mind, I'm like,
it could have been. Oh man, when I saw it, I was like, oh God. But then Terry worked underneath. Boom. I mean, sometimes you want your quarterback to. I mean, Aaron Rodgers does all the time, and I'm not trying to compare Heineke to Rodgers. I'm just for any top quarterback. I'm just saying the big time quarterbacks, Tom Brady. A lot of times they give their big time receivers an opportunity to make a play. And he threw it up, but he threw it up to his best receiver and said, Lord, I hope you can make a play. And he made a play. I ain't going to argue about that. Sometimes
I'm not even. I'll say this, though. That play I'm glad to see it because there's only one complaint that I could ever have about Terry McLaurin. Ever have about him. And that's that he fades away from the ball. Like, He doesn't go toward the ball and catch it. He lets the ball come to him, and he falls back because in his mind, he's looking to grab the ball, and he's already thinking about what move he's going to make upfield, which is great, except for when you have a defender who's keying in on the ball.
Yep.
Like that interception we threw against the Giants. Like, that
was Heineke, but it was him too. It was Heineke, but it was him too.
Oh, Heineke was staring them down. But if Terry's snatching the ball out of the air, that's an incomplete pass, or it's a completion. It's not an interception.
Yeah.
Fading back and let the receiver and let the defender come up. So on this play, he did just the opposite. He came up and got the ball.
Yep.
Which is great because if he had waited for it to come to him, it could have got smacked or the worst.
Let's see the ironic
And
thing.
today we're talking about maybe Taylor's not the guy. We're 1-3, but we're 2-2, and he is the guy.
Yeah.
We need that victory because if we can steal the victory in New Orleans next week, and New Orleans looks beatable, if we can steal that victory, it would give us some much-needed cushion going up against Hitters Row the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
True. But the funny thing about both those plays you just broke down, how it worked this week and last week it didn't with the interception. Both plays, he missed the running back sitting in the flat wide open.
You right about that though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that one. I ain't gonna lie. He missed. He definitely missed that for sure.
So I mean, it was
This
great.
week it was a good miss. But
I'm saying I like to play, and I'm usually not for these throw it up for grabs, but sometimes you gotta have those every now and then. And
especially when you don't trust the kicker.
Exactly. He threw it to his best player. He didn't throw it to Cam Sims or somebody. You know what I mean? He threw it to his best player. His best player made a play.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, let's get to this defense and with a lack thereof sometimes in the game. We spoke about the penalty, some of the bad calls. I got to talk about those phantom pass interference calls that they called on key third downs. I'm like, but you don't call anything on the other side when you see all the hand fighting and stuff going on. But you call it on our guys. I mean, I know they didn't. One time he turned his head. That's why they picked the flag up. I'm glad they did that. But a couple of times, they got to turn their head when the ball is in the air. But you also have to have the judgment to sometimes put the flag away. And it's like, I see them put the flag away when it's, against our team, but when it's our team against somebody else, they tend to call the penalty, which really, pisses everybody off, including myself. But the defense definitely has to do better. We saw some improvement. DujunneaB mentioned we actually saw a stunt, and that's where they got the sack on when they did a stunt. And unfortunately, we didn't see it again the rest of the game. And it's like I'm starting to feel like we're in Jay Gruden Twilight Zone where something works and you never see it again. And it's boggling my mind, along with us still giving a 5 to 6 yard cushion playing zone when you have man corners. I don't understand the logic behind that. And like you said, they started blitzing early, and you didn't see it again. So I'm as an ex-defensive coordinator, I'm lost.
It's like Jay Gruden used to do this sometimes too. It's like a shut the fuck up play. It's like, you guys keep complaining about me not doing this, not doing that, so I'm gonna do it. I remember when Jay Gruden spitefully from the 3 yard line, he lined up Adrian Peterson in I formation. Spitefully. Because he talked about how much he hated I formation. He did just be like, okay, y'all shut the fuck up. And then we were done.
Never saw it again.
Never saw it again.
All this Jay Gruden talk, I got to reach for the bottle.
It's like when he used to run the screen to the tight end and have the wide receivers blocking instead of running it to this wide receiver and have the tight end block. He did it right one time, and then we didn't see it again. Or he did it with the speedy back, and we didn't see it again. It's like, when I saw the stunt, I'm like, okay, all right, Del Rio got the message. And then I guess his pager broke. Like, what are we doing? It's working. You don't stop doing it? What? I don't understand it. something works, go back to it. Jay Gruden, same thing. Oh, that play worked. We'll try to get in 3 weeks.
They won't see it.
It's two things that boggle my mind. Taking drives off with plays where you can just tell, like, you can tell from the first play call, oh, this is a punt drive. This is maybe we get 1 first down, then we're punting. And you could tell when they're coming up to the line, look at the score. And I hate that. I hate that to look at them and tell when one's going to happen. I'm trying to put my foot onto somebody's throat.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're saving it for. Are we saving it for Hitter's Row? Because that would be awesome.
Can't save nothing.
But the defense, something has to happen. Something has to happen. Put more of Chase and Montez Sweat on the same side if you want. Do something. I'd like to see the fearsome 5-some. I'd like to see a couple of plays with all 5 of the hitters in there. I'd like to see a play with Chase, Payne, Allen, Ioannidis, and Sweat all on the same line. We saw it the first game of the season one time. Didn't see it again.
Yeah.
But the 4-man rush, it's not working. And I don't know why everybody assumes that it should, because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work for other teams either.
Right.
I mean,
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I said it's scheme. It's scheme. I've been saying it's scheme, and it's very obvious that it's scheme. Just because of the other plays that they ran, the stunts they used, when they did blitz, this stuff was getting home. It was making noise. It was causing and wreaking havoc and creating difficulty. And then I just don't understand why this team insists on, Jack Del Rio insists on running zone plays that are creating natural holes. I mean, the plays they're running are creating natural holes in the defense, giving easy pitch and catches to quarterbacks. I mean, how many times do you have to see that before you decide to change it? Now, how many times do you have to see that before you realize that this ain't working and it's not good for the corners that you have? 2, I'm tired of seeing Landon Collins out in coverage. Can somebody give Jack Del Rio the memo? Why is he out in coverage? He was out in coverage again. I mean, we know he can't cover. Dude couldn't cover his own shadow if he tried. So what are we doing there? I just don't understand these things. And that is the frustrating part that's hurting the Washington offense. Because you get 34 points like that, you can at least stop 2 touchdowns. Come on, man. Like, you have the ability to stop and hold people to 14, 17 points. So, Jack Del Rio, I'm just saying, I've been saying that the whole season beginning. It's on him. Now, those guys are out of place every now and then, but this has been on him. And he's got to have to own this. Because these press conferences where he's like, oh, nonchalant and acting like, it's not a big deal. Oh, it is a big deal. Because your unit was supposed to come out ready, hot, and on fire. We saw that in the preseason. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. And no, people, it was not against 2s and 3s. Go back and watch the games. Those were against other people's 1s, and they were dominated with simplicity. Wasn't nothing crazy going on. Simplicity. So what are we doing here? Just trying to figure that out. I don't know how long Jack keeps his job, but if it was me, if we about winning, that seat is hotter than a firecracker.
Well, I tell you what,
is behind.
If that dude won't fire the kicker for missing an extra point, it's going to take for him to fire Del Rio.
Yeah,
maybe he takes over play calling duties, which would be awesome because he's a defensive coach. He can. But I don't know if you take over play calling duties from a coach like Del Rio.
Right.
I think he's going to start giving assistance.
Also, I would say one more thing about Landon Collins. Would you rather see Landon Collins struggling to cover or struggling to tackle? Because right now he's not doing either one of them right.
And that's remember they let go of like several people like Fabian Monroe.
Hey, Fabian Monroe was sucking yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
did a couple plays though.
Yesterday. They were picking on him. They knew what they were doing.
Jimmy Moreland, they let go of Jimmy Moreland. And personally, I like the combination of Cam Curl and who else was back there safety? Cam Curl.
Jeremy Reeves. Yeah, they let Reeves.
Yes,
go.
Reeves. I like that combination better than I like having Collins out there. Collins should be used like they tried to use Laurent Landry, or when they used when he was out there, the way they used Josh Harvey Clemens as well, the hybrid linebacker.
And he said he keeps saying he doesn't want to do that, but we want you to tackle or cover. And since you can't do either, let's see you in there because there's always Troy Apke.
Yeah, the great Troy Apke.
Hey, Ron said that he's on the team primarily for special teams. He's a cornerback only in dire situations. He's no longer a safety. He converted to quarterback.
I have nothing bad to say about special teams.
I must say he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
And we got to give special teams a shot.
I'm also very happy to see Carter play his way into receiver. I was happy for him the way I was happy when they started throwing passes to Brandon Banks.
Yeah, we got to get
better him than Cam Sims.
Yeah, no, dude. No.
Catching behind.
They went to him on a big play. It wasn't third down. It was like 2nd and 16 or something like that. And he got it done. He hung in there. He made the catch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's see more of that. I think he just earned wide receiver 4. You know what I'm saying? I think he just earned wide receiver 4 duties, and maybe he can move up a little bit.
Yep.
I mean,
because we don't have a clear number 3 in wide receiver. I'm happy to see that we have a clear number 2. I'm very happy to see Samuel come in there and do what he does. That was unexpected. I didn't expect him to play all season. When someone's injured, I have to say that when someone's injured and they don't take any practice snaps and no preseason snaps, I expect they're going to be injured most of the season. So to see him back this game and contributing, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe it would be nasty if he's back full time. You have him and Terry on the field together because you already can't double team Terry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you see what happens when you can't double team him. And sometimes even when you do.
Yeah. That boy can ball.
Just a quick update on the Monday Night Football game that was delayed due to lightning, which we're still trying to figure out because it's a dome. But the Los Angeles Chargers are up on the Las Vegas Raiders, the last undefeated team in the league, 7-0 with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Raiders have the ball. Derek Carr is moving, and I have Waller going, and he just caught a first down reception. And I need Waller and Jacobs to have a big night because I'm 1-2, and I need to get to 500. And I'm going against Justin Herbert, the quarterback. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. But it's 7-0 with the Raiders driving, trying to tie the score.
Cardinals are also undefeated, says Brian Brennan.
Oh, the Cardinals? That's right, yeah. I guess they're in the AFC.
Yeah, but let me tell you what. The Cardinals are going to be the only undefeated team left because the Raiders, I think San Diego's special. Whenever I look at this team and I think to myself, was I wrong about them or was I wrong about their opponents? And right now, I feel like I was wrong about their opponents. The Chargers look like they're for real because they should have beaten Dallas. Their loss to Dallas was a fluke. Referee help and fluke. And they've been really getting busy about against everybody else. I think they're going to dog walk the Raiders tonight, and you feel less bad about that loss. Then you turn around and see Buffalo put 43 up against Houston, 43-0. It also makes me feel good about that loss. Like, it's different when you lose to a bum. It's different when you lose to the Giants. The Giants will win another game. You feel like you as bad as them.
Wow. Not to cut you off, but I'm watching the game. As I just mentioned, Waller made a first down catch on a crucial play. He spikes the ball out of bounds away from the defenders, but it was 2 defenders beside him to the right. He spiked the ball with his left hand. The ball went out of bounds, and they still flagged him for a 15-yard taunting call.
No fun league.
Bruh, these referees, man.
They've been letting that go. Like, that seems petty.
Bruh,
it's very petty.
These referees, man, this is getting ridiculous, man.
It gets
Guys,
worse every year.
I got to float out of here. You have any last questions?
What do you see coming up with this game against the Saints? Like you said, the Saints look beatable. They'll be here at FedEx Field. Taylor will be back home. They had a crowd behind him. Do you think this team can get above 500 and be in week 5?
Here's what I think. I think this is going to be the first game where I go against my preseason prediction. I think we beat the Saints. And I think we beat the Saints because we've been losing to superb quarterback play. I don't think they have that. I think they can be fooled. I think the strength of their offense is Kamara. I think if you chew in on him and watch him on pass routes and out routes, we'll be okay as long as God, they had Patterson out there looking like Brian Mitchell.
Hey, he got me.
I'm sorry, not Brian Mitchell. They had Patterson looking like Brian Westbrook. That was the line. They had Patterson out there looking like Brian Westbrook. Like, you have to chew in on him. You have to chew in. If you chew in on Kamara, I think we win. I think we beat them.
Hey, he got me 36 points yesterday in fantasy.
Who, Kamara?
No, Patterson.
Oh, Patterson. Well, yeah. The dude was all over the place. He was doing everything.
Yeah, he was coming out the backfield was crazy.
Let me get out of here, but I think we can beat the Saints.
All right, Herb. Appreciate you taking the time, man. Handle your business.
All right, guys.
Man.
Y'all take it easy, Herb.
All right. All right, DujunneaB, we got it back. We went a little bit longer than I expected. We got Brian Brennan already in the booth waiting to talk some Nats and some postseason. His Yankees are going up against the Boston Red Sox, one of the most hated rivalries in Major League Baseball. So I know he's chomping at the bit to talk about this major meeting of the Titans. Unfortunately, the Nats got swept by the Red Sox. I know Brian was probably rooting for the Nats in one of these games, but unfortunately, they weren't able to get the job done and play spoilers to the Red Sox. So we have Brian coming on in probably about 5 or 10 minutes. We got to wrap up Washington football team talk now. I get DujunneaB's take on what we got coming up against the Saints because he covers them also. So we'll get the insider's take. So DujunneaB, watching both of these teams, Big Hurt mentioned about the non-stellar quarterback play. I'm still not sold on Winston even after that week 1 game when he had 5 touchdowns. But what do you see from this game, and do you think the Washington football team can get above 500 going into as Big Hurt says, hitter's row coming up soon?
Oh, man, if you asked me about 3 weeks ago, I'd have told you no. And I'm not sure what I did in my preseason picks or who I picked here. I think I probably picked the Saints, but I'm really starting to feel like they can. My concerns, though, is that quarterbacks seem to get right with Washington because of this natural lanes that they give wide receivers. The good thing is that they don't have a lot to choose from, but they do have, Callaway. You can expect, them to utilize the tight end a lot. It's really going to come down to making sure that they don't allow Kamara to get too buck wild in the space. You have Traquan Smith, hit and miss. I trust Jameis's deep ball. And I think those are areas where Washington struggles. We saw it in the young quarterbacks earlier in the season, the lanes that were given, and we saw it Sunday. There's some lanes given to Matt Ryan. He was able to make some plays, but we did start to see some plays to be made on the football by a lot of these corners as well. With the struggles they have at quarterback, and it really just boils down to the fact I don't think Jameis is horrible. I think he's lacking weapons on the outside, and people do not respect the guys they have on the outside. So when your offense centers around Kamara, Michael Thomas, who else? Someone else has to step up, and that doesn't consistently happen. Defensively, they're basically the same type of defense as Washington is. Very helter-skelter. You don't know what you're going to get from them down by down. They can impose their will and be dominant, but they also can get gutted pretty badly. I think Heineke's ability to make plays with his legs is going to be the difference maker for them offensively. They've got a plethora of weapons to worry about. I think Sammy Reyes is going to hopefully make an issue and a problem for them. I think they'll have some, with Ricky Seals-Jones as well. They'll have some opportunities to take advantage of some things over the middle. Those are things that the Saints struggle with. I really feel like this is Washington's game to lose. The Saints just aren't where I thought they would be coming into this week against them. They had a good first outing, but they really haven't shown much. They got motorboated like 2 weeks ago. I mean, completely throttled by the Panthers. So, and it didn't look good last week. And I still feel the same way. I think riding high, they got a real nice gutty win against the Falcons on the road. And they'll have an opportunity to go against a team who really is kind of having the same struggles and inconsistencies a little bit when you look at their defense. Offensively, though, I think they're better than them. And I think Washington football team fans can be I think they can be positive about the possibilities of getting a win here and getting over 500. I'm not going to pick them in my pick them until they can prove it to me, although I might change at the last minute. And I'm willing to take that loss all day, every day. If they win, I'm okay with it. But I really think they have an opportunity to win this game. You saw 34 points this past week, and I don't think the Saints defense is any better or worse than the Falcons. So, like I said, I think they're right there with what Washington's been showing on defense, if not a little bit worse at times. Because, I mean, Washington got beat a little bit, but I don't think they've gotten – they haven't gotten beaten as a team like the Saints have in some of these games. So, I like Washington. I really do. I really like them, and I think that I really am leaning towards that they will win.
I'm feeling the same way. Hopefully the defense can figure itself out. You don't have Drew Brees back there. You got Winston back there. I'm still going to rag on the 30 interceptions. You can definitely pick them off, get some turnovers, and that's one thing this defense has lacked. And everyone was expecting that defense to get right against Atlanta, but they have some weapons. I'm hoping this defense will get right against the Saints with Winston having a couple of turnovers, maybe even a pick six. I'm not going to go too deep into it because that's what my pregame show is for.
They have to. They have to. If they, we know it's murder's row after this. It's a gauntlet of games that could be ugly. Some of them could be ugly. And I'm not even going to even say offensively because they've proven they can score. Just defensively, they could be ugly. And they could be shootouts or they could be blowouts. Who knows? But if they can get some momentum, take advantage of a team that I believe offensively they're better than, it'll definitely help. It'll definitely help for sure. To start off that murderer's row of teams that they're going to have to face, starting with the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, remember I made my bold prediction last year against the undefeated Steelers that the Washington football teams beat them, and everyone thought I was crazy. So in this next hitter's row, I'm going to pull one out that might shock some folks, and the Washington football team is going to have my back again. So stay tuned. Out of the hitters row of Kansas City, Green Bay, and some of these top nonchalant so-called teams, I'm going to predict the upset that no one is going to see, and the Washington football team is going to come through because this team has potential. They just have
just
to
don't let that be that first one though. Right now, I don't see it. I see
Kansas City.
Nasty.
I just got two words: Tyreek Hill. The human joystick. That That's the most perfect nickname for any football player that can do what he does is the human joystick. Because no matter where he is on the field, that man can score. And I'm glad I got him on my team because, like I said, he got me 36 points yesterday.
I gotta ask you a question. So when you look at Kyler Murray, he is out of this world. Like it's like watching like somebody with good Madden handles work a player. Like the stuff he does, the I'm gonna run full speed, hit the brakes, I'm a backpedal, and then I'm gonna turn to the side and I'm gonna fling it down the field 50 yards to a wide open guy because everybody's trying to come after him. The dude does some insane stuff. You think you got him wrapped up, and nope. And sometimes it can be 60, 70 yards later. You're looking at the back of his jersey, and it's a touchdown. That dude is absolutely sick with his handles.
Yeah, I was watching last year when we played the Cardinals, and yeah, that dude was impressive. That's the first. I don't watch college. I wait till they get to the pros, and yeah, that dude was impressive. Well, I didn't see I saw they beat the Rams, which killed me, and it's been another two bad weeks in a row and pick them. I'm in 4th place now. It's crazy.
Me too.
I know,
had a
man.
hard drop this week, buddy.
Yeah, shout out to Paul, the boxing guy. He's in 1st place. He was supposed to come on tonight to talk some boxing with the Wilder Fury 3 coming up this weekend, but the army of kids he has took over, and he sent me a text sending SOS that he wasn't going to make it on, but he's still trying to fight. He got all them kids, man. They're going to jump him eventually. I told him that's why he's a boxing guy. He's in the gym every day because he got to fight off all them kids he got. It is what it is. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how all this falls out. But I'm rooting for the Washington football team to win 2 in a row and go in there, hit his road with Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers coming up. That's a hint. If you've watched the show, you know who I'm going to say the upset is going to be against.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the Packers are as good as they have appeared. I thought they should have been beat on Sunday, but Pittsburgh is obviously
same team.
Poopberg. So I don't think they're as good as I don't think the Green Bay is as good as they are. So I know where you're leaning, and I agree with you on that one. Yeah. I do. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is as good as he's put out there, and I don't think that team is as good as they put out there either.
Definitely, I agree. But yeah, I'll break it down more on a pregame show Sunday. I've been going on about 10:30 in the morning before I head over to the studio for the postgame and at the bar radio at 6 o'clock. So I'll break it down more on my pregame show on Sunday. I can't talk for some reason. I know I'm tired. I can't talk tonight. DujunneaB, let the folks know what you're working on and what shows you got coming up and what you're going to be talking about on your podcast.
Well, we're going to talk about the Saints football team matchup. We'll be doing that hopefully on the breakdown this week. On the Not Bland show, which is on Ghostcast, we will be talking about the 7 highlights from this past Sunday. We'll get into some drag racing talk as they'll be back at it again in Dallas for the next. I think this will be the 4th playoff race. So we'll be after 3 to go. So it'll be fun. Shout out to Bubba Wallace for getting that W. That's my guy. First win, the Windega. That's pretty cool. Wish I was able to see it. Would have been able to see it if it happened on Sunday. But either way, happy for him. But yep, that's what we got going on. I'm kind of in the podcast mode, man. No writing here. So check the breakdown out on all major podcasting apps. And like I said, Not Bland show on Ghostcast. And hopefully we'll have a show tomorrow talking about the 7 fun facts that took place this past Sunday.
I appreciate it as always. I kind of miss writing. I just don't have the time to write anymore. I kind of miss writing. But appreciate it as always. You taking the time out. Make sure you go check him out. You're gonna find his show links on our page on sportsothp.com. Click on the podcast partners button that Robbie has so nicely put up there. You can click on and get all the DujunneaB's shows that he's on. Also, I forgot to give a shout out at the beginning of the show. The Robbie G and Liz, his wife, they had their second child this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Zara Elizabeth Gross, I believe it is, the newest member of Team Sports OTHP. So, she'll be rocking some Sports OTHP baby apparel soon. We get some nice cute pictures and everything. I already tipped Robbie up about that. But you can make sure you, Robbie, appreciate all your contributions. We're going to miss you for the next few months. But, we have a great team that's going to help cover hockey season upcoming. Luckily, not luckily, but it's the last week for Nats regular season baseball. So, I get a little break until hockey season starts for like a week, and then I'll be back on it. We'll have Anna coming back on to talk hockey as always. But Dujunne, I'll let you get out of here.
All right, brother.
Yeah, it's 14-0. Chargers are up on the Raiders right now. I heard prediction might be coming right, and I'm down 2 points now because Herbert has thrown for 2 touchdowns, and Waller and Jacobs have done nothing. But I'm going to go ahead and do a quick segment before we get Brian Brennan on talking Nats. I'm going to play a quick 2-minute little video of Renegade. As I mentioned, he'll be performing in West Virginia on the 9th this weekend, opening up for Tory Lanez. I will be in the building, so make sure you get your tickets. We got a shuttle bus going up, 50 for the tickets for the show, 20 for the shuttle bus. Inbox me, hit me up if you're trying to go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be live. Come check it out. I'm about to play this quick little video before we get in Nats talk and baseball playoffs with Brian Brennan, and he'll be on in a second. And we'll be back. Dujunne, appreciate you coming on, bro.
All right, thanks a lot, brother. Later.
I'll let you.
I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this man. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. Ain't been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this man. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. Ain't been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. But I dish it like I give it and go. Counting money while I chill at the stove. How I deliver, I've been at the dough. It's up to you how business will go. That 36 I get for the low. Count it up, no feelings will show. Spend so much, gotta get it some more. When they hands out, I just give it a no. How they always talking about me, but a nigga stand out. Watch out how you really walk up to me, that's a man down. All these niggas got these drums with them like a band now. I've been doing what I want, that's what you can't doubt. I've been just feeling myself. Do I just really need help? I got my weight up. I be just telling myself I got love for all of my dogs. I take a pay cut. Some niggas really gon' ride. Some niggas really gon' slide. So go say a prayer. We ain't never gotta slap 5. Nigga, just pay your tithes and call me the mayor. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this man. She all in her feelings. She giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. Ain't been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this man. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. Ain't been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past.
That's right. That's my that's Renegade 703, Living the Past. One of his new tracks coming out. He'll probably be performing that this weekend, as I mentioned, up in West Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia. As I said, if you're trying to get tickets, hit me up. Tory Lanez will be in the building. He's opening up for Tory Lanez, so it's going to be a live show. It's going to have some fun, so make sure you come check it out. That's his latest that he just dropped. So make sure you check it out. Streaming on all platforms. Go check him out, Renegade 703. Brian B, what's going on, bro? We got the final week of Nats talk for the regular season because, unfortunately, the Nats didn't make the playoffs. Your Yankees are, playing in a do-or-die game on Wednesday, I believe, against the hated...
Tomorrow. It's Tuesday, tomorrow.
Okay. Against the hated Red Sox. So I know you can't wait for the game tomorrow. But before we get into that, you have postseason baseball in your future. Hopefully, we the Nats fans don't really have that right for this season. But how are you doing tonight? You biting your nails. You getting ready for the big game tomorrow, man?
I'm doing well, CP3. Thanks for having me on. Yes, I am extremely nervous for the game tomorrow. It all comes down to this crazy up and down season for the Yankees. That's just been a wild, at times chaotic season. It comes all the way down to just one game against your most hated team. I couldn't ask for anything more, man. But also, I would like to echo what you just said a few minutes ago. Congratulations to Robbie and Liz on the birth of their child. Congratulations, guys. Can't wait to meet little Zara. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
No problem, no problem. We gotta have you. Didn't have you on last week, so we gotta have you on for the last week of the regular season, especially with like I said, the Nats unfortunately not making the playoffs. They ended the season 65-97. At least they didn't win 100. At least they didn't lose 100 games. That's the way I'm trying to look at it. At least they didn't lose 100 games. The Pirates lost 101, so at least we didn't lose 100 games. But we did come in behind the Marlins. Bottom of the NL East. That's not good. But the last 10, they were 2 out of 8. Atlanta won the division, so congrats to the Braves. Folks that's tuned in and watch the Braves. We've talked about, a quality team that they have. They didn't have to make some of the moves that we had this year, so they won a division. And the Mets, top of the division, what was it for? Almost 100.
103 days, I think it was.
103 days, and still end up under 500. So you're the Mets. I'm never going to have fear of you guys. So yeah, it is what it is. But we finished behind you, so we can't really talk too much trash. But I was hoping for a better showing than the last week. I mentioned that they got swept by the Red Sox at home for the final home series. I was hoping they could play, spoilers to somebody, But unfortunately, they didn't. They ended up going 1-6 in the last week and ended up 23 and a half games out of first place. It's not a good place to be. But let's go ahead and quickly wrap up this last week and get into some postseason talk, some more livelier things, that at least someone has some hope for some postseason success. The first series of the week was against Colorado. They won the first game of the series, 5-4. Josiah Gray earned his second career major league victory. That put him at 2-2 on the season. He went 5 in the third, giving him 4 hits, 3 runs, 4 strikeouts with 3 walks. Jermaine Marquez took the loss. That dropped him to 12-11. He went 5 innings, giving up 6 hits, 4 runs with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. And Tanner Rainey earned his third save of the season, going 1 inning, giving up 1 hit, 1 run with no strikeouts and a walk. Escobar went 3 for 5 with the RBI single. Juan Soto went 1 for 4 with the fielder's choice RBI. And Luis Garcia went 2 for 4 with a 2-run RBI single. Second game of the series was a 3-1 loss. Kyle Freeland earned the victory for Colorado. That put him at 7-8. He went 6 2/3, giving up 6 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Patrick Corbin took the loss. That drops him to 9-16. He went 6 innings, giving up 6 hits, 2 runs, with 9 strikeouts and 2 walks. And Carlos Estevez got the save. That was his 10th of the season. He went 1 inning, giving up no hits, no runs, with no strikeouts, with 1 walk. And for the lone run, Logan Thomas, who went 0 for 3, drew a bases-loaded walk for the lone run for the Nationals. Sad. And the last game of the series was a 10-5 loss. Ashton Gardner earned the victory. That put him at 2-2. He went 2 2/3, giving him 1 hit, no runs, with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. And Mason Thompson, took the loss. That dropped him to 1-3. He didn't record it out. He gave up 1 hit, 2 runs with no strikeouts and 1 walk. Logan Thomas went 2 for 5 with a 2-run RBI single. Luis Garcia went 1 for 3 with the RBI double. And Juan Soto went 1 for 4 with the RBI single. I didn't really get a chance to catch too much of this series. I was keeping track of the score, but, Colorado, better team, Nats, still, trying to find themselves with all the youth they put on the field, getting experience. Got to give a shout out to Lane Thomas. He's been excellent, replacing Victor Robles. A lot of Nats fans were upset with Robles at the plate. He's stellar in the outfield, but Thomas has, some promise in the outfield, and it definitely has been raking at the plate. That's been one of the complaints about Robles. Hit 230 with one home run and like 3 RBIs. So like I said, this team is rebuilding. It's not going to take them as long as it did in the first place to, get to where the promised land where they won the World Series. But, they're going to need some patience. Brian, let me ask you. I didn't get to check. Did Juan Soto win the NL batting title again this year, or did he come up short?
I did not. I'm not sure, actually. I will check that. I'll get back to you. Give me 1 second.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know he was in the running, but he did in this last series against the Red Sox. He did have some struggles at the plate, so I know him, Trey Turner, and I can't remember the third person that was fighting.
It was Turner. Turner won.
Turner won.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a bummer, man. That sucks.
Damn Dodgers. Jesus.
It still just doesn't feel right. They showed Max Scherzer at the Chargers-Raiders game tonight. It just doesn't feel right that these guys are in L.A. now.
I just, if they'd have went anywhere else, I'd have been cool with it. Even when I forgot the other team they were rumored to go to, San Diego, I believe. I'd have been happy
San Diego.
I'd have been happy with them in San Diego. But the fact that they're in LA, I hate to say this, but Trey Turner and Max Scherzer are dead to me.
Ooh. Oh, man, that's tough to hear. That's tough to hear.
I unfollowed them on Instagram and everything. It just hurts to see them in that damn blue, Brian. I just can't do it. That's like if, let's see. I'm not even gonna say Derek Jeter. Yeah, let's say Derek.
I was gonna
Jeter.
say don't say anything you can't take back right.
I was gonna say let's say Derek Jeter was in a Boston Red Sox uniform. Exactly. Exactly.
Not right. Not right.
That's how I feel about the Dodgers. It's like, because all those times that Kershaw beat us, and it's like, they had to go to the Dodgers. So I mean, if they get another ring, it's just hard for me. Even all the videos or the highlights that those guys provided for the Nats, it's hard for me to watch those now because I know they're in blue.
I know how hard it is. Those guys were great, and they won the World Series in DC. They're legends in this town, and for it to end the way it did, I know we talked about it when it happened, but for it to end the way it did with pretty much everybody from the 2019 team getting traded, I understand why you guys are frustrated. I know people like Robbie have said, like, the Nats are dead to them and things like that. But like, I get it kind of. I would be mad too if you traded literally all your good players, especially to a team like the Dodgers.
Yeah, it hurts. What hurts even more is Herbert had thrown for a third touchdown. Jesus. Yeah, Hurt might be right. The Raiders might be getting. See, I'm not a John Gruden fan, but like I said, I got 2 of his players on my squad trying to win tonight, and yeah, it's not looking good. So yeah, Hurt might be right on my prediction. Damn it. All right, let's get back into baseball talk. Like I'm taking a loss and pick 'em and in fantasy this week. Jeez, it's been a rough 2 weeks of football. All right, let's get to this unfortunate 3-game sweep by the Boston Red Sox that has put them into the playoff wild card against the Yankees. The first game was a 4-2 loss by the Nats. Eduardo Rodriguez earned his 12th victory of the season. That put him at 12-8. He went 5 innings, giving him 5 hits with no runs, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Josh Rogers took his second loss, which evened the record to 2-2. He went 6 innings, giving him 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 strikeouts, and 3 walks. And Hansel Robles earned his 13th save of the season, going 1 inning, giving him no hits, no runs, no strikeouts, or walks. Escobar went 2 for 5 with a solo home run, and Jody Mercer went 1 for 4. With a solo home run to account for the 2 runs for the Nats. The second game of the series was a 5-3 loss. Austin Davis earned the victory for Boston. That put him at 1-2. He went 2/3 of an inning, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, no strikeouts in the walk. Tanner Rainey took the loss. That dropped him to 1-3. He went 1 inning, giving up 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts for 2 walks. And Hansel Robles earned his 14th save of the season, going 1 inning, giving up no hits, no runs, with 1 strikeout and no walks. Juan Soto had a sacrifice fly for RBI, and Andrew Stevenson with 2 for 4 with the 2-run home run. The Nats gave up 4 runs in the top of the ninth. It was a 1-1 game, and Stevenson answered with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the ninth to make it a 5-3 total. And the last game of the series and the last game of the season for the Nats was a 7-5 loss. Eduardo Rodriguez earned his 13th victory of the season, putting him at 13-8. He went an inning, giving up no hits, no runs with a strikeout and no walks. Kyle Finnegan earned the loss that dropped him to 5-9. He went a third of an inning, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, one of those earned with 1 strikeout and 1 walk. And Nick Pivetta earned his first save of the season, going 1 inning, giving up no hits, no runs with a strikeout and no walks. Mercer had went 1 for 4 with the RBI double. Zim had a bases loaded walk, and Avila had a 2-run RBI double with 1 for 4. The Nats gave up a 2-run home run in the top of the ninth to Devers to give the Red Sox the game. It was a 5-5 tie going into the ninth, and they were able to get those extra runs to put them over the top and push them to the playoff wild card game against the Yankees. The Nationals, like I said, 65-97. We reached the promised land 2 years ago, and now, because we, as I mentioned, when we made the trades at the trade deadline, they traded away some of their young talent down in the minors to get some key pieces that help win the World Series. So now they have to retool the minor leagues and got prospects. I mentioned Josiah Gray, Luis Garcia, Juan Soto, of course, and a couple of other prospects that's played towards the end of the season that, got some experience in the majors, and now they're going to the off season, ready to do it again next year. So this team isn't as bad off as, most fans think with them, trading, as Brian said, most of the World Series team. But you got Strasburg hopefully coming back from the injury. Hopefully Corbin can rebound from this abysmal season that he's had. He couldn't find a slider to save his life this year. And, hopefully another year, Joe Ross can, come back and gain some consistency. We saw some great performances from him on the mound, but we saw some bad ones also. They got Josiah Gray. He's the number 40 prospect in the majors. They got him through the Scherzer trade. So, I mean, there's talent on this team. They just have to get it together. Also mentioned David Martinez. He was given a team with, veterans and young rookies that's basically ready to make it to the World Series. Now he's learning to be a manager, how to develop a team to get him back to that level. So, between the manager and experience on players and new players. So it's not going to be as bad as most fans, think it's going to be in a long layoff before they can get back to being, even talking about playoffs or contender. But, yeah, the Nats aren't too bad off. So, bear with us next year. Things, be better. And got to mention Mr. National Ryan Zimmerman. I watched the video of him taking his first plate appearance yesterday at the stadium, and the fans, giving him a standing ovation and bringing him tears pretty much. It's not guaranteed that he won't be here next year, but, there's talk of him coming back for one more year. But, it would be, if this is his last, game as a national, he's been a lot to this team. First national drafted to the Washington franchise, and, was able to, make it to the top of the world and winning the World Series before he, leaves the game. If he chooses to stay, definitely love his, leadership, his bat, and, the things that he can bring to these young players that's learning how to play the game. But definitely got to take your hat off to this guy, Virginia kid, at the University of Virginia, drafted by the Nats, been in the area his whole life. Great foundation with the, for his mom with the muscular dystrophy. So, all around good guy. I would love to get an interview with him. Something I might try to, get in the works. But, yeah, it would be a shame, to see him retire. But, it is what it is. But if he comes, I think he might come back because he still got some baseball in him. But, Brian, what did you, I know you were rooting for the Nationals in this series against the Red Sox, and unfortunately didn't come through and help out your Yankees. But what did you take away from, I know you were probably watching off and on, what did you see any of the series? And, like I say about Ryan Zimmerman, you're a baseball guy, so I know you probably have some appreciation for Mr. National.
Yeah. So as far as the series goes, as a Yankee fan, I was really hoping for some help from the Nationals personally. Going into this weekend, the Yankees had a 2-game lead for the first wild card. And unfortunately, the Yankees lost 2 games to the Rays this weekend. And the Red Sox, by virtue of sweeping the Nationals, moved ahead of the Yankees for the first wild card, which means the game tomorrow is at Fenway instead of Yankee Stadium. So I was really hoping for the Nationals to win at least one of the games. I was really excited on Sunday when I saw that they had a 5-1 lead. I was like, great. I'm like, all right, cool. The Yankees had already won. So I was like, okay, great. So just please don't blow it like you always do, Nationals. Please just hold on one time. It's the last game of the season. Hold on and win this thing. I even said that in my group chat with Robbie and Champ and all those guys. And Robbie was like, don't get your hopes up. The Nationals are gonna blow it. Like, don't put your faith in the Nationals. And Robbie was right. The Nationals blew the game. They gave up the home run to Devers, and that was it. So the Yankees are going to Fenway on Tuesday because the Nationals didn't win a single game against the Red Sox this weekend, and closes out what has been overall a pretty depressing season for the Nationals. You know, we already talked about all the trades. You know, the attendance was down massively this season. I know COVID played a factor, but still attendance was, when it did open to 100%, attendance was way down this year. There was the shooting outside the stadium in July. There was just a lot of depressing stuff that happened this year for the Nationals. And if I were a Nationals fan, I'd be pretty happy that the season is over. I agree with you that I don't think the rebuild's going to take forever, but I do think it's going to take some time. They are definitely, it's not going to happen overnight unless they, you know, make a huge splash in free agency, which the Nationals have done. I mean, we've seen them bring in Jason Worth. We've seen them bring in Scherzer. They've made big free agent signings before, but I still think this is going to take some time. This is going to be a bit of a project for the Nationals for the next couple of years. So, yeah, again, I wish the Nationals had helped out the Yankees this weekend, but it wasn't meant to be. And as far as Zimmerman goes, he's a legend in D.C. He is Mr. National, like you said. He is one of the faces of this franchise, one of the greatest players this franchise has ever had. He's the leader in a lot of statistical categories for this franchise. I think games played, he's the all-time leader for the Nationals/Expos franchise, which is incredible. To me, I did see the send-off he got at the park yesterday, and to me, that felt like it was it. Like, that felt like it was fine, like it's done. And I always felt like, you know, no offense to Zimmerman, I always felt like he should have retired on top after they won the World Series. He didn't play last year in the COVID-shortened season, and I'm glad he came back. I am glad he came back, but I just always felt like it would have been a storybook ending for him to go out on top as the 2019 World Series champion. But I'm glad he got the send-off he got yesterday. It was cool to see his wife and his children in the stands at Nats Park giving him a standing ovation. You could tell he was really emotional. And, yeah, I have nothing but respect for Ryan Zimmerman, and a great career for him.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss him if he's there. I think he's going to be there because, like I said, he didn't play last year. You know, he was playing sparingly this year, didn't, you know, feel too much. And, you know, with Josh Bell on the roster, they got him into the lineup every now and again. So I think he still got some baseball in him that he probably will come back. They'll probably sign him to another one-year deal, you know, league minimum, whatever, and he'll probably play another season before he rides off into the sunset. I'm sure he doesn't want to end his career with a 65 and 97 record. So I'm thinking he's going to come back. But you know,
well, that's why I thought he should have retired after the World Series, because that would have been like the perfect way to go out. And then unfortunately, I mean, you can't predict COVID. I mean, nobody saw that coming. But and at the same time, he had an opportunity, I feel, to end his career on the World Series win. And while I'm glad he did come back and he got a chance to get that ovation yesterday, I always just felt like 2019 should have been like the storybook send-off for Zim.
Yeah, it would have been storybook, but when you love the game, you love the game. He wasn't ready to
no doubt.
Yeah, so he like I said, I think he still got. You can still see the love for the game in him. So I think he'll probably come back one more season. That's just my feeling. Don't know nothing honestly, but that's just my feeling. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the last session of Nationals Talk for Sports OTHP in Season 6. Brian, let the folks know what you got going on with your podcast and what you got coming out soon.
Yeah, so I actually took a couple weeks off from my podcast. I had a wedding to go to this weekend. I was a groomsman and the official wedding announcer. Shout out to my friends, Pat and Becca. Congratulations on getting married. But I was focused on that pretty much for the last 2 weeks. I didn't really have time to do a podcast, but I'm coming back this week. I'll probably do a recap of the wild card game on and the NL wild card game as well, which is the Dodgers and the Cardinals, and then I'll probably do a playoff preview. I also started a second podcast, which is about Ted Lasso, which is my favorite TV show. If you've never seen Ted Lasso, please watch it. It's an amazing show. It's the greatest show ever. And I decided to start a podcast about it because I just love it so much, and I just love talking about it. So it's called the Hope That Kills You podcast. So if you're interested in Ted Lasso, check out my second podcast. Once again, congratulations to Robbie and Liz. Congratulations to my friends Pat and Becca, who I watched get married this weekend. Carol, thanks for having me on. Let's go Yankees. Boston sucks. Have a good night.
All right, bro. I appreciate it as always. Thanks for taking the time out and giving you a great insight in baseball and everything. And we about to get out of here. I'm tired. It's been a long weekend. It's been a long day. Go check out sportsothp.com for all the latest content. SportsOTHP. DC Sports Under Politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do.
I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. But I dish it like I give it and go. Counting money while I chill at the stove. How I deliver, I've been at the dough. It's up to you how business will go. That 36 I get for the low. Count it up, no feelings will show. Spend so much, gotta get it some more. When they hands out, I just give them a no. How they always talk about me, but a nigga stand out. Watch out how you really walk up to me, that's a man down. All these niggas got these drums with them like a band now. I've been doing what I want, that's what you can't doubt. I've been just feeling myself. Do I just really need help? I got my weight up. I be just telling myself. I got love for all of my dogs. I take a pay cut. Some niggas really gon' ride. Some niggas really gon' slide. So go say a prayer. We ain't never gotta slap five. Nigga, just pay your ties and call me the mayor. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings. She giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. Money, money, I love that money.
Lucas.
Money, 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 money. You don't really want to play. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money is what I'm talking about. Money, 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 make you shut him mouth. Don't never ever talk about it if you never had the clout. You don't know what to say. Stay up out of my way. Cause money, 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 make him shut him mouth. Keep playing with this Goonies, boy, I'm gonna have to make the call. Stay in bounds on your pivot, boy, if you gon' ball. Cause a lot of niggas be fake, and you really can't play. Cause we done got it out the mud, nigga, what you talking about? Screaming, oh my God, money got me pride. They living a lie, look into my eyes, they might seem surprised, this is homicide. We just multiply, we been on the rise. If we got some wings, fuck it, we gon' have to fly. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. Day in my life, take me a different route. And use all my case, niggas on my face. You can get erased, what you talking about? Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really wanna play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really wanna play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You never crossing these borders. I'm whipping it up, Gordon Ramsay. I swear that I'm cooking these orders. You talk about me, you better just hope that you can just really afford it. I'm balling, I'm balling, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm feeling like Robert's a horrid. Nigga, I'm scoring. I count in the morning. They talk about me, then I gotta ignore it. My bitches be foreign. So independent, my money be corporate. These rappers is boring. You hate me and I'm always gonna adore it. I'm smoking that soaring. She always go ahead and let me explore it. I call her my Dora. You can go and talk about me, I ain't flawless. I go put my all in. If a nigga talk about me, then I'm gone in. You know that I'm gone in. Jump in, take trips, Pompeii. All day, always keep 3 stacks like Andre. I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it, man. And you can never, ever, ever get rid of that. So watch what you say, and watch how you do. If you playing the game, then you play by the rules. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really wanna play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really wanna play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money's what I'm talking about.
Can you hear me? I am calling now out your name, and now I know, I know, I know, I know, and I'm here, and you know it, it's all just the same, and I know it's gonna be disco. Take me to a place where everybody learns, where everybody sees, where everybody shows their love. I didn't think so. You know, that's why I always try to plan for you or me. I really didn't think so. I take a promise, I give give it some love. I make a wish upon a star. You know you gotta get it right. You know you gotta get it right. Every little thing counts now. Every little bitty thing. Can you hear me? I am calling now out your name, and now I know, and I'm here, and you know it. It's all just the same, and I know it's gonna be disco. It'd be so cool just to celebrate all the love and all the hate that's going down. It's gotta stop, we've had enough. Why can't we just live together? Peace, love, and harmony is what this world needs forever. Can you hear me? I am calling now out your name, and now I know. Can you hear me? I am calling out your name.
A few years ago, I told myself I'd be the next big thing in the industry. See, the game is simple. Life has its way to show us that anything is possible. The power of the tongue, which has the ability to be detrimental or beneficial. Was it beneficial? I'll leave that one up to y'all. This is my story from me to you.
If you're listening to this song right now, I'm speaking specifically to you. I want to give you my testimony and tell you a little bit about myself, if you don't mind. Coming from nothing but a little struggle and pain. Crazy how we can all turn around for you and change. I done seen a lot of things in the street, wrong danger to me. Hustling with them niggas that was no good for me, but I never gave up. 10 toes prayed up, thinking about the nights when the opposition got sprayed up. Trying to see a sunny day, all I get is rainy days. Screaming free my dogs and the loved ones who ain't here today. Yeah, I miss you, wanna kiss you, wanna hug you and hold you, won't forget you. All my life I've been misunderstood, just a little nigga trying to get up out the hood. And this thing we call poverty, but that's all inside of me. Used to cry myself to sleep, but strong I gotta be. Now I'm on TV, I done made it out the street. Troubled child turned the streams to reality. See, I knew that I would get there all along. Listen to the words of the song. This is my story from me to you. All I wanna do is just give you my truth. All I really want, promise to keep this just between me and you. Just between me and you, yeah. And you can do anything. Just believe and get dreams come true. Who would've thought that we would come up like we did? Running around on Upland Street, man, I never forget. They told us we was bad, always getting in some shit. Breaking windows from throwing rocks, but we was just being kids. And smoking at the park, coming in after dark. Rolling with them thug niggas, reckless with no heart. Sexing on them, hood rats addicted from the start. Trapping and catching cases, ghetto life is so hard. Coming from a broken home, left me all alone. Neglected as a child with nothing to call my own. But now that I'm good, now that I'm paid, I'm shining, everything is okay. This is my story from me to you. All I wanna do is just give you my truth. I'm giving you my truth, will you hear me? Promise to keep this just between me conversation.